Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're doing something I've never done before, and we're hopefully casting the One Ring in our blue-green Omnitel deck. Now, everybody's probably screaming at me. I always complain about this card. I wanted to see what it was like to actually play it in this very popular shell that is emerging, which is Show and Tell with Omniscience that ultimately casts Emrakul and wins just by taking an extra turn and annihilating your opponent's board, or it can go Atraxa, or it can just cast lots of cards for free like Lorien Revealed, stock up, and dig for whatever answer it needs to have. This deck is basically just land and cantrips and the win cons. So you have your Enabler, which is your Show and Tell, and you have your Payoff, which is Omniscience or Emrakul, or once you get Omniscience into play, again, you just look for your Emrakul. If you have one of 3 Cunning Wish in your deck, you just go get Shared Summons, and this will get you both Emrakul and Atraxa, and you can win quite comfortably from there. We have kind of a backup plan in Uro. Uro is just very difficult for non-white decks to deal with, and he can potentially help you gain life. He can potentially come in and just serve as a beatdown against dirtily control decks. And we also have a Wish board that includes Sublime Epiphany, which can stop counters. I mean, it's basically the mother of all cryptic commands. Very powerful card. It does so many things. We have a Consign to Memory here, Hydroblast, a Wipe Away, which is a split-second bounce spell. I decided to go with this rather than like Chain of Vapor or something cheaper, because if we have Omniscience out, the casting cost doesn't really matter that much. Technically, Sublime Epiphany can do the same thing. It can bounce stuff. We have a couple Force of Negations just out of respect for even faster combo decks. Grafdigger's Cage for even faster combo decks that use the graveyard. A couple Carpet of Flowers, which are very good in this deck. And we have a Eureka, which is kind of our 5th Show and Tell. If we're just not doing anything, but we have Cunning Wish and we have like an Emrakul in hand, we can just go get Eureka and spin the wheel and hope that our opponent doesn't have their own Emrakul. That may come up. We are playing the brand new card, which is Mistrise Village. This card is pretty powerful in that it makes your next spell uncounterable, and as long as you have a green card like a forest, it just enters at play untapped, and then you can immediately use it. You pay 1 mana, it has to be blue mana, and then you tap it and you don't get a mana out, so it effectively makes every spell cost 2 more. We do have a couple Lotus Petals, which I don't like this card. I don't think it's very good, but everybody was playing it, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to see what we do here. We do have the 4 Ancient Tombs to power out quick stock ups. This is going to be a learning experience for me. I have no experience playing this deck. If you want to watch somebody struggle through a complicated combo deck who's never played it, who's a tempo gamer, who's a control gamer, this is your video. If not, if you want to watch me play a bunch of tempo videos or control leagues, just I've got a bunch of other videos as well. But don't be afraid to call me out on my bad play in the comment section. I'm going to be kind of struggling through this, but it should be fun because this is a very powerful deck. And frankly, I feel like I should know how to play it from the piloting side as opposed to, being the person across the table trying to defuse the bomb. So we'll play a full 5 rounds. Should be fun. See you in round 1. All right, round 1, we're up against Philip J. Fly. This hand has Show and Tell. This has stock up. I don't like the double pedal, but it does have lands and spells. I don't know that we're supposed to throw this away. It's hard to find Show and Tells. I'm going to keep. There is a small risk that they could be on Stompy. They usually play Omnitel. I'm going to take a look at what they're likely playing. By the way, I'm going to show you this list that my list is heavily based off of from 4 Seasons Bologna. It's a few months ago, but aside from, the bannings, obviously, and control being more playable, I just like this list a lot because it plays a ton of land. It plays 20 lands if you include the Sink into Stupor and the Petals, so just tons of mana sources, which I love. Lots of basic lands, and it's just trying to inevitably skate toward getting Emrakul into play. It's not trying to do anything too fancy, which is why I didn't really understand the Petals were in there, but I'm going to trust the creator, Lorenzo Laconte, and I'm not playing exactly his 75, but it's close. For example, Firemine Insight wasn't in the deck, and Intuition seems like a weak card these days. So I was like, okay, if we don't need that, then let's just not play it. And so I'm playing more, I'm playing 2 One Rings. That's one of the major differences. But we have the Wish board. Okay, let's go ahead and look up. They have been on Sneak and Show recently, so we need to be very careful. This is pretty dangerous game we're playing with casting Sneak Attack. I don't think we play out the petals just in case, because that might turn them on to the fact that we're show and tell. Maybe I actually should have done that in case they just explode, because we don't really have any recourse if they do. Well, Prismatic Vista could be anything, and they've played against me many times, and I've never been on a combo deck before. Other than maybe if you count like my my Bant Beach Nadu decks as combo decks. Ancient Tomb, Petal. Oh, are we going? Are we going? Don't do this to me. I don't have anything in my hand to put in. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Well, I'm going to let that resolve. Oh, they had me going there for a second. Okay. So unfortunately, like the fact that they're tapping Ancient Tomb means almost nothing here. I think we do stock up ourselves. I don't want to wait around. I want to put a, show and tellable monster into our hand or an Omniscience, because we have Cunning Wish and that just totally destroys them. Yeah, we might as well get our colors set up. We're probably not going to need double blue. I'm just going to play a petal out, and I'll do the same thing you did. Now that I feel pretty confident that I know what you're on. This is actually my first stock up to ever cast too. Okay, so I think I take Omniscience stock up. That way I have something to do next turn. We didn't find a force effect. But again, if they go for it without force protection, well, let's see. They just can't answer Emrakul. I think it's still Omniscience though. Yeah, I'm not sure. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you have some idea as to what I'm supposed to do here. But my instinct is 100% to just take the stock up, because that is card advantage for next turn, and the Omniscience here because it's called Omnitel for a reason, right? Emrakul is what you do when you have already established control. Is there any chance? I think we should play out this petal. I mean, we could like brainstorm it back. Just trying to think, like they could spell pierce. They're not going to daze. Hopefully they just put our Omniscience into play for us. No such luck. Okay. We're looking for force effects. Veil is very good. Now I will play this out. Okay. So they may already be ready to party, but we're going to get the first crack. With the Omniscience, we can just Veil in response to them doing something. And we can stock up. I'm going to go for it. I think this might be incredibly naive and incredibly dangerous. They're cracking. Okay. This may be Spell Pierce. Brainstorm. Sure. This is exhilarating. I mean, like, anything could be coming in off their side. Atraxa, anything. But with the Cunning Wish in my hand, I feel pretty safe. Do they have their own Omniscience? Okay. Now I'm going to Cunning Wish. Cast without paying mana through Omniscience. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to stock up. Because if I can find a force, that's pretty good. And I can still do this at instant speed. Now, do we respond to this? I guess I could. They might have double force. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. I would have liked to have resolved that. Maybe they would have forced it. Okay, scooped. Wow, we won our first game with Omnitel. I can see what the hype is about. Like, it really, like these combo decks, oh man, look at this. Like, so many different mana costs that, like, it makes my entire deck look crazy. Crazy wide. This is definitely the widest deck I've ever played. Okay, so in the mirror, Carpet seems good. Veil number 3 seems pretty good. I've got plenty of stuff I can grab off of Spell Pierce. I feel like Force of Negation seems good. I'm going to take out... What do you take out in the mirror? Do you take out Show and Tells? I don't think that's correct. I want to take out my Petals. I don't think that's going to be what the game is about. That's card disadvantage. Yeah, because like, Carpet's like a seriously upgraded Petal. I don't think the Uro is going to matter. I'm not going to bring that in. Like, it just seems extreme that we would get in a situation where Uro is the deciding factor. I don't want to go down on crazy monsters to potentially put in. Yeah, I guess I have no idea how to sideboard. I didn't create a sideboard guide either. That's something I do when I'm more familiar with decks. I think we can cut some lands. Yeah, I think I will. There's a decent chance that I grab all my different lands. I can cut, I'll just cut like a Vista, because I might as well grab, they're not going to be like, playing non-basic hate. So I can just grab my Trop or my Hedge Maze or my Forest with these duels. but it's more important that I get my blue source. Okay, so with that, we're at 17 lands plus 2 carpets. I don't know that I like that. That is a little light on land. I could go up a land. What am I going to cut? What's the cut? Sinking to Stupor seems like it'd be pretty good. It's also a land. You know what? I think I'll just go with like fewer lands. I do want to be making land drops every turn, but it doesn't really matter that much at the end of the day if Omniscience is on the table, like it was for both of us there. This hand seems cracked. I mean, it's got lots of interaction. Sinking to Stupor is a land. I'm going to keep this. It stops them. That's what I care about. Like I stripped lands out of my deck with the intention of just going long. So I'm just going to play land after land. I'll surveil. Okay, they're fetching. Volk. Ponder. All right. So that Volk tells me they may be playing Mistrise Village as well. And I have 0 counterplay to that. If that shows up. Pedal. All right, they didn't take out their pedals. And they are way more experienced, obviously, than I am. I've got a whopping 1 game under my belt. I'm going to play this out, and I can end stab it. At this point, I will have to force show and tell if they go for it. I'm not going to interact with that. I'm going to let them... My theory is just let them have their cantrips and stuff. They're going to 4 cards. Like, they already went card disadvantage when they mulliganed and when they played out that pedal. I'm very much looking forward to cutting the pedals and like basically any slower matchup like control mirrors, slow combo mirrors like this. I don't need that at this point, but my life total is a resource. No, I don't need it. I'm going to have all the land I need, I think. Yeah, and I want colored pips. I'm glad I cut a land with like how many lands I've been drawing. All right, double veil seems good. I'll just wait a turn and next turn I can stock. I hope we get into a fight this turn because I'm so ready to fight. I've got a lot of mana. I'm not going to do the bad brainstorm. I'm going to be patient. I'm not even sure that I want to stock up here. Oh, that gives us something to draw to. We could just play that next turn. But like, I do want to have the lands out. Maybe if I stock up, they get into a fight over that. I think this is a who blinks first type situation. We're making land drops. I'll just play my sink out. And then I can have veil up and I can stock up and then I can go for 1 ring. 1 ring will take over the game. And 1 ring is not risky. 1 ring is not risky at all. They are not going to be able to do any damage to us most likely other than if they get a monster into play. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very far from casting Atraxa. I don't know that they can naturally cast Atraxa. I'm just going to shock. Yeah, I'll pay 3 life. And now I'm going to go for the... This does mean that I'll have to discard, unfortunately. I hope they fight over this. Yeah, because I'll have 7 cards. I guess I could have brainstormed last turn just to ensure that this gets through. I hope they counter it. So if I veil this, I'm tapped out during their turn. I think I just let this happen. I've got 1 ring next turn. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. I'm too much of a scaredy cat to veil this. I know I've got like 3 veils. Or you're like, what are you doing? You're in the comment section. What is wrong with you? Why did you not veil that? I would have had a discard anyway, and I would have gone to some extent shields down. Neither of which I want to do. I am kind of regretting binning the Ancient Tomb just because it would have given me double veil protection on casting the 1 ring. And if I don't find a land here, it's pretty bad. That is brutal. I need to find a land so I can get veil going. Let's see. They have 3 mana. I mean, like, I just don't have an answer to this. I'm going to force, and I'm going to hope they get into a fight over it. It is reciprocal. And that like it affects both of us. Yeah, that sucks that I had to do that. And I didn't have to do that. I chose to do that. All right, let's see if we can get them to force here. We're in. Can we find a land? Holy cow, that's great. I wish it was green, but I'm not going to complain. It's still a land for next turn. So if they have the thing, then we can Emrakul, but they'll probably be able to win. Magus is fine. I don't mind that at all. And I'm stunned that you brought that in against my freaking... basic land deck. I've got like 5 basic lands in my deck. All right. So let's go ahead and we take the damage. Another land, which is just a mountain. Trying to think, like I'd rather have an island if I can find it, but it does crimp my ability to cast Veil. So, I mean, this is not nothing. It's not inconsequential that I'm under a Bloodwind. Okay, so we could just go for Eureka here. No, we don't have double green anymore. All right, I'm just going to chill for a turn cycle. They're going to be able to attack me for 2. I want to take a look at my sideboard. I'm not sure if I have anything. I've got plenty of time. I've got 16 minutes. So I'm going to take a moment to think about what my answers would be, hypothetically. I could just go grab a Hydroblast and get rid of this, but is that really a good use of my precious Cunning Wish? I don't think it is. I think I just take this damage. We are going to need to consider the fact that like Emrakul means we get an extra turn, so we do take extra damage from this. But we could Sublime Epiphany and bounce it back to our hand. I'm just going to take it. Please go for it. Please do something where I can efficiently use my Veil here. I think I am going to go ahead and Cunning Wish end step. Just to have some forward momentum, because I do need to make efficient use of my colored mana sources. So Hydroblast is certainly an option that significantly increases our mana production and turns these Veils back on. Okay, well, that is great for me that you chose to use your force on that. Do you have another? Flusterstorm. Okay, that's a lot of copies. All right. Well, we basically got our opponent hellbent. Like they could have, some spaghetti monster in their hand too. Yep. I will not pay. What are they doing here with their last mana? Wait, why are they pyroblasting? That doesn't make any sense. Why did they scoop? Oh, they had nothing, so they were just like, yeah, I'm losing. Okay. I gotta go eat. Good GG's. Yeah, GG's. So we have won our first ever match. We played the mirror against a pretty experienced pilot whom I've played against several times on Omnitel, and we won. So whether that was just me, dumb luck, Mr. Magooing it through the match is what it felt like, or whether like this build is just better with the One Ring. I mean, the One Ring is a heck of a card. And Boschenroll said the other day in one of his videos, he thinks it's the next card that's going to get banned, which too early for ban predictions, but like I wouldn't be surprised. It's been banned in every other format, right? It's not banned in Vintage. I don't think. Maybe it'll never be because they've never banned anything in Vintage. Right now, there are literally 0 cards that are banned in Vintage that aren't like for anti, I don't think. See you in the final round. The final round. I wish. See you in round 2. I still got a lot of work ahead of me. Right. Round 2, our opponent is likely on kind of like Grixis Tempo. And I probably will play this on the channel. A lot of people have been requesting me play it. But it's basically Kaito, just splashing red for Molten Collapse. But it does give them access to 3 Pyroblasts, which is potentially a challenge for us. Tempo's pretty good against this. Like I frequently win this matchup when I'm on the Tempo side. So this does have really stable mana though. Yeah, and Uro's freaking a house against them. They do have Wastelands. We only have 3 green sources. I'm going to keep this. They mulled a 6. They know nothing about what we're playing because we've never played a deck like this before. So if anything, they're probably confused as to what we're playing. But they could be on freaking Oopso spells with the way they're mulliganing so quickly and aggressively. Let's see, when were they on this? They were on this 4 days ago. And like I'm not typical. Like it's uncommon for people to switch decks as frequently as I do. Did they play Stifle on their list? No. They shouldn't play Stifle. Stifle sucks. It's not playable outside of Stifle Knot in my home. I don't know. Sometimes it might be playable as a one-off, but okay. I've played a lot of stuff on this channel. All right. I'll stop, going off on tangents and like face the reality that I have no idea what I'm doing here. I think it's right to start Prismatic Vista. That confuses. I've never seen Prismatic Vista out of an Omnitel deck. It may not be that common that people have such a devotion to basics as we have in this deck. But again, I wanted to opt for stability. Uro is exciting because he can help us build out our mana base. Okay, this jives with that tempo thing I was thinking. I'm just going to make land drops and chill. I don't want to give them any information here. We don't have anything to do anyway. We're just sitting there. But like next turn, we can definitely Uro. I think Uro is probably okay instead of stock up. Stock up's probably going to get dazed. Uro, they'll probably let it go. And at least we gain some life. If they have open Bowmaster mana, I'll probably stock up instead of Uro. They did mold a 5, so we do kind of have that going for us. I think it makes sense to go ahead and grab the Surveillant here. Because if we can find another land, it's really good for us. And we are going to need the green mana. So we'll get one of each basic. And we actually don't have any cards that cost 2 blue mana that we're actually going to be paying mana for. So like a single island should be fine, even if they waste us. I'm going to keep that. I think you keep that instead of like tell your opponent like, hey, by the way. Yeah, because that is a show and tell card. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to Uro just to get a card deeper into my deck and buy us some time. I don't think they'll daze this. If they daze it, that's fine. But we have enough lands that we might hit one or a pedal. I wouldn't play at the pedal right now. Now my opponent probably thinks we're on some sort of dirtily combo deck because like who plays Uro in their show and tell deck? I think maybe a few people are playing it, but yeah, it's fine. So that show and tell would have been countered and we'll just keep putting stuff on the stack until they submit. We're 1 green mana away from bringing it back. Okay, that's good. I was afraid they might have a wasteland. Next turn is definitely stock up just to try to exhaust their interaction before we go for the show and tell. Yeah, because I want to get land. I want to make a land drop as well. They maybe daze here or force. Okay, great. So we have Mistrise Village, which is quite good, and we have force. Can't actually fully take advantage of Mistrise Village, unfortunately. I think with these cards in hand, I think they're unlikely to be able to deal with either of them. So I'm going to take the force and I'm going to take the Tarn. These go back on the bottom. Oh, it was a pretty tough stock up. Like it was difficult to decide because it was so good. All right, and now we've got Trop next turn, which brings back Uro, and we're not quite to bring back Uro territory. We'll go for a show and tell first, and then we can always use Uro as our backup plan. Okay. Thoughtseize. I think I just let them go here. Yeah, because I mean, like, they're putting Uro into our yard, or they're putting a card into our yard for Uro. Like, we have a nutty hand. They have to stop both show and tells, but like that doesn't even matter because Uro coming back will just like generate so much value. Okay, they took the force. All right, I'm gonna take a draw before I fetch. Brainstorm. We could fix our hand a little bit and maybe brainstorm in the land. I like doing that because we don't need 2 threats. Atraxa is plenty. I can put this Emrakul back. Please hit a land or a pedal. Okay, this is great. So we can put back both these Emrakuls. Play this out. Go get an island. I'm going to go ahead and go with the threat they know about first. Get a Trop. Now they have to waste us twice to get us off bringing back Uro. We're just going to go green, green, blue, blue. And leave a comment if you think I'm being too demure about this. But like, I mean, bringing back Uro is pretty damn good. And I guess I'm still kind of playing like a control player, even though I'm piloting this combo deck. I actually don't know that it matters. We don't have graveyard recursion at all. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, do you want to daze this? Oh, wow, we're in? That's good for us. We shuffled, but we still drew it. Okay. All right. And now, the one ring with Uro basically prevents us from dying to the one ring. That's fine. That's a 2-for-1. There's a land. It's still not a wasteland. They have a Thoughtseize. They're going to have a lot of things they need to deal with here. Another Goyf is not a big deal. All right. So my instinct is to just go ahead and one ring because that pulls us further ahead. And I don't... They might force it. Yeah, let's go for the one ring here. I mean, the game just ends if show and tell resolves, but I'm not certain that it will. Maybe it's correct to just keep jamming it over and over, but now we have protection from the thing. We can draw. We can potentially get a land drop for the turn. Pedal's good. There's not any reason to play it out, I don't think. Yeah, I think we just hold it. Not that they necessarily have a lot they can do. They can't Thoughtseize us. But we do now have the ability to show and tell twice. This doesn't do any damage. All right, so we take a damage. All right, Ponder is fine. They may have Bowmaster. I think that's the most likely thing that they would have right now. I'm going to go and cast this. And I'm going to see if I can maybe... I guess I'll Ponder first. Well, if I Ponder first, then I don't necessarily have double show and tell. Let's see, what could they have? They could have a force. They could have 2 forces. I think if Atraxa result comes in, the game's just over. They could have double daze because we are using a mana, but we do have a land drop, and I do want to draw a card off this one ring, and I want to trigger it around Orcish Bowmasters if that's what they have in hand. There's an island, which I think we want. Omniscience is nice to put into play, but I don't think it really matters that much. I'd rather just have a land so I can go again if they counter me. Actually, we'll get both of these when we go for it. I'm going to go ahead and do this first. Wait, if I draw twice, now they may go for it, but then I have Omniscience, which is a better card to put in. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here's the Bowmaster that I predicted. So we're going to get hit twice. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. Draw triggers. I guess I could have taken the Brainstorm because then I could have brainstormed in response to them Bowmastering and at least gotten some value out of that. I'm a little scared, but they couldn't have two forces. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Show and tell. They force. All right, it's countered. And now I'm just going to hope that their last card is not a Daze. And we still have Uro to bring back if they do have a Daze. Okay, and now we put in Omniscience. They get a card. Now I'm just going to Emrakul. Yeah, they don't even want to see. They just take it for granted that we have a win con. Like, in my humble opinion, you should wait, but like it's cool. I'm not going to fault them for just conceding there. Carpet comes in. Petal is a mana source. It's kind of a janky one. I'm trying to think of is there anything we don't need? We don't need Spell Pierce. I don't think that's going to come. Well, I mean, Veil's so much better than Spell Pierce. I think we bring in the Veil for sure against blue-black. So now it just comes down to what we want to cut here. I think we want the mana sources. I think we take out the Petals. I think the Petals are really like fast combo is my theory. Again, leave comments with timestamps if you're like, you fool. The Petals are because XYZ. Like thing that I haven't thought of yet. Okay, cool. Let's go. And my goal here is to carpet and just get a stable kind of control-y win. You don't generally want to try to race tempo when you're like a, dirtily combo deck that can basically play off basics. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, I'm going to snap keep this. I'm going to hope they don't Thoughtseize. I do kind of think we go ahead and force the issue with the carpet because it's so good if it resolves. Don't Thoughteize me. I don't have Veil up yet. That sucks. But now they're kind of like forced to choose. I mean, they're probably going to take the Veil. They might take stock up, but that's so far away. They took the stock up. Now they're just going to plan to not play a lot of islands. Okay, we drew a force. I'm not interested in forcing anything that comes out of their deck other than like Force of Will, basically. So yeah, I think I just go get it. I'll just go ahead and play it out. They don't have Daze right now. Forest. Carpet. Now for the rest of the game, like their mana development is crimped. This is their only card in their deck, I think, that doesn't tap for blue. Or, yeah. They're only non-island. Now we can pass. And I'll just chill. I'll happily pitch this. I'm not sure if I pitch Omniscience. Okay, they're just denying us mana. That's fine. I'm not in a hurry. You have no pressure on me, then I'm in a happy place. And you're going to need to necessarily go get other lands to be able to apply pressure on me. I'm not going to use this ability. I'll hide the Ancient Tomb for now. They haven't seen it, and it doesn't have any immediate application here. Yeah, Singed is super... It can counter a spell effectively if we have enough mana. It's pretty good. My opponent is maybe AFK. That is away from the keyboard. For anybody who's born after 1990s is when we used to say that. Play my land out. We'll pass. We've got Veil up for subsequent, attempts on our life. And it is extra clicks, but I always deny it. I always turn it down when they don't have an island out, just in case they do some sort of fetch later. Okay, I don't think this is going to favor you just playing lands and passing, because we're amassing resources very quickly here, and you're supposed to be tempoing us. Okay, I'm not going to use the ability. I think at this point I just play this out and pass. I do want to ponder, but I want to do it with more land out. And now we've given them a land to waste, which I would love for them to waste that, because that land is really just there for, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to Bowmaster here. Okay. Do I fight the Bowmaster? No, this is even better for us if that's what they're doing. Because now we have the mana production. And it's not unfathomable that we could get to Omniscience here. Well, I'm going to fail that. You know that I have this, so now I have to force. Why did you Thoughtseize into our known Veil hand? You saw the Veil the first time. Okay, anyway. Maybe they were just trying to get it out of our hand because they knew eventually they'd have to deal with it. I'm not sure. But that may have been a misplay. I do think playing at the island was a misplay. Like, maybe not a conscious misplay, but it just gives us so much here. I'm going to use the mana ability. I'll add some blue here. I'm going to go ahead and ponder. I'll play a land first. Now I'm going to ponder. I can just sink into stupor, the Bowmaster back to hand if I need to. Yeah, I just want to keep forward momentum here. I mean, it's tempo negative to bounce this back to hand, but now we're almost kind of the tempo deck with all the islands they have out. I just want to get my ponder in. We are buying an extra turn at least by stopping this. I'll do that. Okay, now we get our ponder. Brainstorm is great. I wish I had more mana. I think I'm going to brainstorm just to get it out of the way. Well, what we could do is we could shuffle and then we could ponder a second time. I think it's better than brainstorming here because we're not going to get a perfect brainstorm. And actually our hand is totally fine. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm just going to get another island. At this point, there's no reason to get a second green. We have carpet out. I just don't want to expose ourselves to like multiple wastelands in a row. I think it's unlikely. Okay, let's get island. Let's ponder here. We're just getting rid of all our cantrips while we can. Veil seems insane, but I don't actually really need the mana. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This costs 10. No, we're not going to get there naturally. Not at this rate. I'm going to shuffle. Okay, we got an Ancient Tomb anyway. We've already made our land drop. We'll just pass. I am probably going to hold Ancient Tomb for like brainstorm shuffling back in. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do in this matchup. Okay, no place. Love it. So they're going to just Bowmaster us again. The moment we cast a cantrip. Let's see, how much is Sublime Epiphany? I don't think we're going to be able to Cunning Wish for it. I'm going to use it. And then I have Hardcast Force up, which is not nothing. Okay, and now maybe I just Hardcast Force. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I am seriously tempted to just Hardcast Force this. If they have double days, that tracks here. But like just keeping this off my back for a turn is great. Okay. Yeah, and that may be a controversial play. I can brainstorm immediately. If they had it, they probably would have just played a second one. So I think I do brainstorm immediately just to get, since this is my turn where they likely don't have. Yeah, and they may daze this brainstorm. And then I have one ring on top for next turn. Actually, I could just play this land out. I don't intend to use it, but I could have brainstormed it back. Yeah, maybe that was the play. Brainstorming back that land. I just didn't want to get dazed. I'll be... Okay, great. So what we don't want... I don't care if Thoughtseize are Emrakul. I don't want them to get our Omniscience or our One Ring. Actually, I don't care about Omniscience. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stock up One Ring. I definitely want to cast One Ring next turn. With all the mana we have and everything, that'll be insane. This is a hard deck to pilot. At least, I'm not saying it's like tempo hard, but it seems pretty challenging to pilot. Like there are a lot of decisions to make. Sequencing. You have a high degree of agency. Goif's out. Okay, if they save their force, this is a good time to use it. I will add 2 blue here. We have a stock up. We don't have protection from everything yet. I'm going to go like this. Gosh, it feels greedy to do this but we don't actually have any counterplay. I'm going to go like this. We're not pretending to have anything going on over here. If they have the force, they have the force. Wow, that's huge. We have the protection trigger. Now we can go ahead and use this. We draw a card. Let's go ahead and stock up. We don't do damage to ourselves now because of this. The One Ring is just an insane magic card. It's staggering to me that they thought it was okay to print it. Like it's just so objectively like busted in every single way. Okay, so we take stock up here and probably Veil. We're not going to be able to use it this turn cycle, but we'll be able to use it later to deal with a comp. Yeah. All right. Everything else gets shuffled in. We don't have any further plays, so we'll just pass. We're going to take 1 from One Ring, and then if they have Bowmasters, we'll take a bunch more when we tap it. They're getting blue. This helps us. Oh, they have a second. Okay, they do have a Bowmaster. It staggers the mind that they didn't cast it earlier. Like I had a brainstorm. I had a lot of stuff going on. They're picking their own Goif. That's fine. And I think we're going to be able to hopefully stock up a win here. Now that we have Veil, it's pretty much a lock. Yeah, they keep attacking into my ring. You can do that. I guess I'm not going to like be swinging back or anything. So, oh, Kaito. That's a good reason to attack in. All they can do is plus. They can surveil. They can surveil. They don't get to draw. Ninja Beatdown has commenced. They did just take their Bowmaster out of play, which does give us a window to like, we can just veil in response to it. And I'll see what we draw here. We're just going to add blue here. Maybe it makes sense to add green. Yeah, I'm going to add green. Okay. So I think the correct sequence here is One Ring. They attempt to come in. We veil. Then we can stock up. And they've cast a spell, so we get a card for the veil as well. This card is just insane. Like, I've played against it so many times. It feels even more powerful when you're actually the one using it. Like when you see all the crazy things it's doing for you. I've never cast this spell before today. And it's kind of like, I don't know, there's some movie where, Batman, when he gets like the power to surveil everybody. And he's like Dark Knight, he's literally monitoring everybody and he quickly realizes like nobody should ever have this power. And he like destroys it after he uses it to, spoiler alert, to fight the Joker. I won't say what happens, but yes. Spoiler for a movie that certainly everybody listening to this has watched. If not, you've got a great movie night ahead of you. Okay, so we have the land. We can just One Ring and get the protection trigger and just take our time. Or we can just Emrakul. I think Emrakuling is totally fine. Maybe I One Ring first. We have Omniscience. There's no way they can stop this. I'm trying to think of what could happen. Our spells can't even be countered. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Our deck is just freaking broken. Okay, so Omniscience comes in. Like, why have I been playing freaking Tempo trying to beat this deck all the time when I could just play this deck? It's insane. Yeah, I will cast my freaking Emrakul and blah, blah, blah. I'll just totally take over this game. It's ridiculous. Okay, yeah. I mean, like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm just 2-0ing these poor people that are having to face me. See you in round 3. All right, round 3. I'm not sure about this hand. Our opponent is almost certainly on Karnforge. We don't have a cantrip. We don't have the combo. I think we go for the combo. My thinking is we can probably race them if we play our cards right. Unfortunately, Veil doesn't do anything, but we do have cantrips and land. I think this hand is better, even though it doesn't have any interaction. Let's take a look at their list. They don't play blue at all. It's just complete mud. Yeah, we'll put back a Veil. Yeah, and then I can brainstorm the other Veil away. 2 turns from now. Okay, they have a slow start. That's good for us. We're on Omniscience. I think I could just go ahead and ponder now because I'm going to definitely brainstorm shuffle. Mistrise Village doesn't do anything. Cunning Wish. These are not good cards, frankly. Like, Island is fine, but we're likely to find something like that off of brainstorm anyway. Any order shuffle. We're just looking really for show and tell. I think that's the key to winning. Show and tell, Omniscience, then Cunning Wish, and then we can just do the shared summons and win. Glaring Fleshraker is okay. I mean, it's crazy that I don't care about these things because I have like a way to win. I might still lose this game, but like being a combo player, when you have cards as powerful as Omniscience in your deck, it's just a totally different vibe from being a Tempo player freaking out all the time. Like, oh no, what if they have this? Oh no, they do have that, you know? Okay, so brainstorm here. We don't have the win. I'm going to put back these redundant Omnisciences. It at least pitches to force. I will definitely put back this Veil. Next turn we have Stock Up, which I think we may need to win pretty quickly here. So I'm going to Surveil, and then we'll Stock Up, and then we'll hope to win. There is a small chance that Surveil does find us the show and tell that we need to win. We have the win if we find show and tell. But I think this matchup is mostly just chips passing in the night. Okay, they have Karn. I can't stop this. They don't yet have the mana to like lock us out with Mycosynth Lattice, but that is coming very soon. See what they get. They do have the mana to blow up our lands, which would suck really bad. Yeah, Liquid Metal Coating. That's unfortunate. Okay, so now we need to find like an Ancient Tomb and a City of Traders. We can't find both. I think we're just done. I think we're just locked out of winning the game now because they just keep blowing up our lands. I'll take this damage. Oh, because they minus, they can't blow up yet. That's right. They can only do that the subsequent turn. Okay, so here comes the surveil land. Do we have a show and tell? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That goes in the yard. That can't even be activated. Now our opponent has a very clear idea of what we're on. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do with this mana. Yeah, so we are still looking for the... Oh, they have more stuff they're going to do? Oh, they can do it to both of our lands. Sick. Okay, I think we're done here. Yeah, because they can just do this every turn. Okay. Yeah, they can start blowing up lands. I mean, we might be able to trade water. We're at 14. Next turn, they could just Mycosynth out. I think we just concede. I'm pretty confident when they saw that, when we bin that Lotus Petal, that we showed them what we were on. Okay. So I think we do have a single consigna memory in the sideboard that they can come in. This is definitely a matchup where I think Force of Negation can come in. We have plenty of cards we can take out in the form of these Veils. Wilt, not great. It's really just a sideboard card. I think we leave the Petals in so we can accelerate. This is a matchup where we want to go fast. Spell Pierce can answer stuff. What else do we want to do here? Uro, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that Uro matters here. But is he better? Is anything in here worse? I mean, Eureka could just help us win. I don't think they have like crazy top end cards. I don't really want to be casting Eureka. They have a lot more permanents in their deck than we do. Yeah, these are distinctly sideboard cards. I think we just run it like this. It is nice that the way the sideboard maps, like that's just a coincidence. Because nobody else was playing Force Negation, but like, you know me, like I'd never like losing to Oops or Reanimator. So I always have like, and I went down to just 2, but like normally I would play 4, but there's the Wish board and I want to accommodate that. I actually kind of hope we lose because like it, again, like I don't feel like I should be winning with this, like with my skill level with this deck. This is a stock up Omniscience. We don't have any acceleration though. And we don't have any counter magic. I want to shuffle, and I think the odds that we find a show and tell are okay. And I think that's the key to victory. Like a turn 3 stock up is not that powerful. This is the hand. This is absolutely the hand. So we can surveil. Yeah, we're going to keep this. I'll put back my redundant Omniscience. I'll just open Hedge Maze here. Is there any chance they could disrupt this? They can't kick command it. They can't do anything to disrupt it, I don't think. I'm going to go and play it out. I mean, it's crazy, but like, well, yeah, this stays because once we have Omniscience, we're going to need to shift through our deck a little bit. Once we have Omniscience, I'm being hopeful here. They may have a turn 1 Karn that I may have just invited by Lotus Petal. I think it's hard to get a turn 1 Karn, but it is possible. Yeah, that's fine. So show and tell notably does not include Karn, which is nice. Could be any number of any other nasty things though. Go ahead and do this. I'm just going to go get a Trop. I don't think it matters. This way at least we can cast, Uro if it comes down to it. All right. Show and tell. Omniscience comes in. They get the 1 ring. Yeah, the 1 ring. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play the 1 ring without paying its mana cost. Well, let's think about this. I think I ponder first, just in case like I see, yeah, I get to see what's coming. And we just need an Emrakul. That's fine. You can have your draw. Stock up is pretty awesome. I'll take the stock up. I just screwed up. I put the stock up on the bottom. I confused my ponder for my stock up. All right. So I think we go ahead and just... What was the other card? I'm so bad. I didn't even look at what the other card was because I was so tilted from my mistake. All right, I'm going to ponder. I have to not pay mana. We're going to do this. All right, there's the stock up. We are going to take that this turn. We don't want this Force Negation. Wait, I'd rather have a Force Negation than a redundant ring. So I'm going to put the ring at the bottom so I can shuffle it away. And we'll take the stock up now. Now I'll just stock up. We're looking for more stock ups. Consign is not terrible. Like Force is just the most flexible card. So I think what we do is we take Force of Will and Force Negation. Okay, the other ones get shuffled in. Now I'll play out my ring. I'll tap it. Let's draw a card. Cunning Wish. Okay, we can win now. Cast without paying its cost with Omniscience. Okay. This is Yes, I want to use it. I didn't know you could not use it. Okay, let's stretch this out so we can see what we're getting. We're going to get shared summons. Now we'll cast shared summons without paying its mana cost. We're going to go get an Emrakul and an Atraxa. Make sure I click these correctly. Okay, done. All right. I will play the... okay, cool. Yeah, that felt good. Yeah. So aggressively mulliganing in a combo mirror, I guess, is how you do that. Okay. So this player is extremely experienced. I see them all the freaking time. Look at all these trophies. Because they're a combo player. They have lots of trophies, right? Like, isn't that the meme? Because they can play a league in 1 hour that takes a control player 3 hours to play. No further changes. Let's run it back. Now we have to win on the draw. And if they had any doubts as to what we were playing, they now know. This hand does have show and tell. I'm going to keep this on the strength of show and tell. Urza's Tower, okay. This is, I think, a ponder for Force of Will type scenario. I don't really care about Hedge Maze. I'm never going to use it. I'm just going to show and tell and put in something nasty, but I need to have something nasty to put in. The other option is we brainstorm here to max looks at both force. No, I'm just going to try to line up a win con here. I'd love to have force, but it's not as important here. I am a little worried about Disruptor Flute, but Disruptor Flute merely makes show and tell cost more to cast. I think we shuffle this because we've got literally everything we need to go. I mean, stock. It's super tempting to just take the stock up here. Yeah. We already have a cantrip. We have 4 Omnis, and yeah, I think we shuffle and we try to high roll because I really want to win quickly. Yes! All right. That is freaking exactly what we needed. So next turn we have show and tell, Omniscience, and then we can use a combination of Uro and hope to dig. So they have 4 mana, 5 mana. Are we dead? Karn. They can go get Pithing Needle. Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, that doesn't affect me immediately. We do have like wipe away and stuff like that. All right.
Sorry.
Siri is going off, even though I have it configured to not listen to me. It's very disturbing. Okay. Yeah, let's just do our thing. Magic is hard. I will put this Omniscience into play. You have Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. Now I just need to answer that, which I will. It'll take a little bit of digging, but I intend to answer it. I guess I could go ahead and play this just to get deeper into my deck. Doesn't really matter. And this sees more cards when I brainstorm. Actually, I can go ahead and put the Hedge Maze in too, and then see an additional card. So we just have Sink into the Stupor, which answers that. So that's great. Do we want to dig deeper into our deck with a Hedge Maze at the risk of not being able to put a card back? I think it's worth it. Ponder is a keep. Now we get to draw the Ponder. We get to see more cards. Oh, we have to cast this. All right, Spell Pierce goes back. This card can go back. Ponder. We're looking for stock up. Oh, Emrakul does it. Okay, so now I take the Emrakul here. I'm trying to think of, do they have a way that they can stop us? I don't think so. And now we win. Take that, Karnforge. I feel so... This deck is freaking broken. This is an absolutely broken deck. I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, let's go into round 4. All right, we're up against another toxic Sneak and Show deck. Most likely. This hand is actually pretty damn good against Sneak and Show if they're on it, and it has force as well. If they're on tempo, we're screwed. But I think we keep... Like, they were playing... They trophied with Sneak and Show like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. Omniscience is very good against these types of decks, I think. I suspect that our deck has a better path to victory than theirs. Just by virtue of like Omniscience being able to go over the top, One Ring being able to go over the top. They're playing like a more scrappy game than we are. We're just going big. We'll see whether they are indeed playing that or whether we're just going to get wastelanded in Oblivion here because we do need the mana for Lorien Revealed. Yeah, I'm going to dig for land here. If we get lucky and they cast Show and Tell, like the fact that we have the Cunning Wish in our hand, just it's chef's kiss. Because we'll have Omniscience, we'll just go crazy. Bobble. Okay, so they're on Doomsday maybe? Maybe they're on Tempo. They saw our top card. Because like Nethergoyf, sometimes people play that in a Nethergoyf deck. Okay, there's Nethergoyf. They're on tempo. Okay, so this just got a lot harder. They draw their card. Let's see what they saw. They saw a stock up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Lorien Revealed. I'm going to get a basic island. I'm going to play it and I'm going to pass. And I will have Days Protected force up. But I'm not worried about spells. I'm worried about Wasteland specifically. And I suspect their deck has a lot of them in there. I don't care about keeping green around. Not enough to get double wasted out of the game. I think if they had Wasteland, they would have wasted there, though. So I think we're probably in the clear for at least a turn cycle or two. Okay, that's not a Wasteland. They could have Bowmaster, but they have a very slow clock here. Now it's a little faster. Actually, it's going to be a 3-4. I feel like such a traitor to tempo right now. I know you're probably sick of me saying that. But like, I've been fighting like the good fight against decks, and now I feel like I've become the enemy. You know, what's the other Dark Knight quote? Like, live long enough as a hero, and die a hero, or live long enough to become a villain. That's it. I butchered it, but that was like Harvey Dent's character in Dark Knight. I haven't seen that movie since it came out, but it was really good in the theater. I should probably watch it again. Actually, I take that back. When Dark Knight Rises came out, I watched Dark Knight and Batman Begins in anticipation of that, back when I used to go to movies. Now I'm too busy with kids. I haven't been to a movie theater since before the pandemic. Too busy playing Magic the Gathering. All right, Veil is great. Unfortunately, we're just sitting here taking another lump. We'll hopefully draw a cantrip or land at some point. A lot of people are playing Grixis right now. I'm not sure about the Grixis deck. Like, I do think blue-black is just so strong, but without the green, or without the red. And I think blue-red is strong without the black. You don't need to have both. But what can I say? I'm like a greedy person who always plays 3-color decks. If they find a waste, I'm going to be so upset. All right, thank goodness. We'll take our hug. One Ring is not going to be as good when we finally find mana. Come on, Ancient Tomb. Holy cow! Holy cow! Oh my goodness. Let's just go for it. I regret to inform you that Veil is on deck. I regret to inform you that Force is on deck. I mean, we're basically dead if this doesn't work. I guess I do have stock up to rebuild. I definitely think it's better to keep the stock up than the Cunning Wish. Cunning Wish is not necessarily a win con because we took... No, wait. It is shared summons. Okay, so the question is, do we just die here? And I think we do. I think it's better to pitch the stock up because like I think the odds of us rebuilding are very low because we're taking 4 next turn, but they are pretty spent. Cunning Wish just wins. I think there's a decent chance stock up just wins. We also have One Ring. Yeah, I'm going to pitch the Cunning Wish just in case we do have to rebuild next turn. Do you have a second Days? You have Brainstorm to go over the top and hopefully find something. No, they have the second Days. Okay. Our entire pillow fort here that we've assembled on this stack here crumbles. I felt like we were ready to go, but our opponent was prepared. Okay. Now, next turn we have the One Ring. Maybe they're out of ammo. One Ring gives us an extra turn. Then we start stocking up. They could have a third Days. That's entirely possible, but I think One Ring is safer than if we find a land, then One Ring's very safe, I would say, because they have 2 cards in their hand. They're going to get a third, though. Now they have 2. So they need to have Force Blue card. Stock up. But I think we're just dead if we tap this. We don't have a lot of turns to One Ring. Land would be a good draw. Okay, Omniscience is not a great draw. I think... So One Ring, we draw. We have like an entire turn cycle. We take 1 damage. They can't hurt us. I think we do go for this. I'm going to be very disappointed. But like, stock up is death. We just die immediately. Okay, we're in. Trigger. Let's draw a card. That's a great card. All right. So next turn, we're going to go very low, but we're not necessarily going to die. I think we may die. If they have Bowmasters, it's really bad for us. They're looking for Bowmasters probably. So we'll be at 3. We fetch down to 2. We tap Ancient Tomb down to dead. So I don't think we can actually fetch. If we find another One Ring, we don't have the mana for that. Yeah, what we need to do is we need to find exactly Show and Tell. So they can't. They could have land plus, but they can't Thoughtseize us or anything. So yeah, they could have Bowmaster right now. They got red. Interesting. Pondering again. Okay, but now we don't have to worry about Bowmaster. So there's a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. They may have days here. Okay, so we'll take that. Draw a card. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have enough mana to both stock up and... yeah, because we can tap this once, but we can't fetch. So we'd have 2 mana left. So we'd need a Lotus Petal in addition. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take my chances here. Okay, Ponder is something we can do here. I'm going to Ponder. There it is. Ancient Tomb we don't want. Emrakul we don't want. Show and Tell is the card. I'm going to go ahead and play out the land. Do you have a Bolt? If you have a Bolt, I will die. Omniscience is in. Stock Up is in. Let's see. They put a land in. I'm going to just play this one just in case they have a Brazen Borrower while I can. And now we'll do this. If they have the Bowmaster now that we cast that, they can kill us. We have the Emrakul. Emrakul does not actually work. I'm going to go ahead and do it though, just because they may concede to it, but they actually aren't dead to it. The trigger goes on the stack. To my knowledge, there's nothing our deck can do to win. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, we just died to the One Ring, unfortunately. We needed it to be something else. Okay, good game. Actually, I'm going to do this. Ching. Death. Okay, so they played very well there, and we didn't get it in time. Post board, we bring in the carpets. We bring in the 4th Veil. I think Veil is so good against Thoughtseize, 4 stacks. We take out the Petals. Those are bad against Tempo. I think I take out a Tomb. It feels pretty bad. We're going to go a little slower here. It did save us kind of like had they not had the second daze. It doesn't help us cast Uro. We have plenty of mana sources now with the carpets. Actually, I kind of am tempted to take out Spell Pierce just because this is like a good... Yeah, and I think I'll keep the Ancient Tomb in. Because I don't want to take out 3 mana sources. I'll take out 2 and bring in 2. All right, let's do this. But like the fact that we were so close to winning means that like I don't know, the deck feels really powerful. Like we got really close to winning twice, right? During that game. They were 1 mana from, or 1 life from death. Actually, it wouldn't have mattered though. It didn't matter what their life total was because we were not going to be able to attack. All right. Game 2. If you're just joining us, we are 3-0. This is actually pretty good. I think I'm going to keep this hand. The reason is Uro can't really be dealt with by their deck. We just slowly but surely, like Uro our way out. We can get basics. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this slow and steady hand. I know that might seem crazy. Like, you're playing Omnitel. Why are you putting so much stock in Uro? Uro is a very good card. I can even bait them to waste us. I'm not sure actually if that's safe to do. We are going to need a second. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep this up. If they Thoughtseize us, like, they can put the Uro in our yard for us. But they're not going to be able to disrupt our mana production this game significantly, I don't think. They, like, having played this matchup a lot, like, I know that you generally want to be very slow and careful in what you do here. I'm just going to Surveil here and, not draw that card that they just saw. Nethergoyf, okay. They're bobbling themselves. That doesn't really accomplish anything. Like, in my opinion, it's fine to wait, but they are probably just trying to draw out a 4, because they're not expecting us to have a hand with so many lands and a freaking Uro in it, right? Like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? That's a good card. And I'm aware that we do actually need cards in our graveyard to be able to bring Uro back. Don't worry, we're going to get there. Let's draw our Veil. I'll play this. From my experience, like, they are wanting the Thoughtseize so bad right now. They probably just wanted to get on board first, and they took like a big risk to get on board. Okay, it's not a wasteland, so Uro is going to arrive a little earlier, which is great. They have a Ponder, Brainstorm, Thoughtseize, like all those things do speed up their clock a little bit. But Uro undoes a lot of that work pretty quickly, and Uro is bigger than anything in their deck. Okay, that's good for us, that they didn't have any effects to put additional things in their graveyard. So we'll take our 2 damage. Okay, and they almost certainly have Bowmasters in hand. Does kind of give me pause and say, hey, don't you want to just like, you know, Uro? But if I Uro, then I go shields down. I'm going to wait a turn. And then I can Veil the Bowmaster. Yeah, I can cast Veil with the Bowmaster on the stack. They've cast a spell, so I get the draw trigger, and they can't ping me. Is that a good use of our land? I think I do want to just go ahead and get ahead with Uro. They may put the Bowmaster in, but we do get a land out. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And then next turn, I'll have Veil for stock up. They may counter this, or they may just Bowmaster it. So now we have the option of... I'm just going to chill with Veil up, I think. Yeah, because I have Trop. But if they have a Wasteland, they can keep us off this, but we can always just get a Veil. Or we can always Carpet and then bring him back. We do need more cards in our graveyard, though. That's fine. Veil does not protect against red spells, notably. Just blue and black. I'm really hoping that they Thoughtseize me so I can Veil it. That's like the best feeling in the world. But they may have a Daze too. But that Daze is not going to matter once Carpet comes down. That is unfortunate because that was what I was going to grab, but I'm fine with it. Let's go ahead and drop this. Carpet. Okay. Now I'm going to go to post-combat. Okay, we're going to add some blue. And I'll just stock up here. They could Pyro this. I can't stop that. But this does go into my graveyard, and that's fine with me. Because I just need, like, yeah, that's fine. And next turn, I will have 5 cards in yard for Uro. Assuming that, like, I fetch and, like, I can just Veil. Just pre-casting Uro. And then they can't counter the Uro. Okay, we'll take 3 here. Goif, number 2, very scary. So we're not dead next turn, but if they do have like a sorcery or something, we could be dead. Show and tell. That's good to know about, but I don't think that's what we do right now. I think we just go ahead and Uro here. But we need to put something in the yard to Uro. So we could go ahead and show and tell, and then we Veil. Yeah, I think that's actually the play. I'm going to take the blue here. The option... We need to keep this colored mana if we want to Uro, and that might be essential to survival. Even with Omniscience out, it doesn't mean we survive. Let's think about this. So we show and tell, we Omniscience. We take 2 damage from this show and tell, but then we fetch and we can put Uro in, and I think we have enough life to survive. We'll go to 8, and then we'll go to back up. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Unfortunately, that does effectively counter that, because this is just... Wait, spells... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. This stops the Pyroblast. We don't get a card for it. But if this resolves, then they can't do anything further. They probably force this. Force Negation is pretty brutal because it doesn't go to our yard where it feeds Uro. But this Show and Tell does. Okay. Now I'm going to go green. Go get a blue source. I'll just get an island. We're going to go green, green, blue, Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, our opponents played very skillfully, and like I think their deck is pretty well constructed. Like Pyroblast is obviously an upgrade. Yeah, they have a force for this too. So if they have another card, we're currently surviving at 1 life. I don't think it's going to matter. Actually, I don't. Is it deterministic? We could draw like a cantrip, and let's see. We need 10 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't tap this anymore. So I think we're just at 1, and I think we're just dead. Like, I'm trying to think of what we could get here to survive. The One Ring, we could just play the One Ring and not tap it, and then use that for a turn. What does Cunning Wish get? We could Cunning Wish. Okay, let's take a look at our sideboard. So Eureka, we would have the mana to Cunning Wish and Eureka, right? Because we'd have 7 mana. We have currently... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have exactly enough to Eureka. But then we put Omniscience in and we don't have anything going on. Sublime Epiphany. That costs a fortune. We don't have the mana for that. Shared Summons doesn't do anything without Omniscience out. Wipe Away can answer 1, but it can't answer both. I mean, it's crazy, but we could actually just Cunning Wish for Wilt and then cycle it. That costs so much mana. Okay, let's read Sublime Epiphany. Counter target spell. Counter target activated ability. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Target player draws a card. So we could... I don't think we can cast this. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't think we have a way out. Wilt to draw a card is the best we can do, and that would leave us with 2 mana that we can access. Yeah, I think they got us. Well played, opponent. Let's go to the next one. So we are not impervious. The deck is not unbeatable. All right, let's go to the final round. So while the next round is loading up, I just want to observe that Netherglyph is a very good card for pressuring combo decks, and a lot of people think, oh, it's not that great of a card, like, why not just play Murktide? But the Netherglyphs came out so early. Murktide would have taken forever to come out. They applied a lot of pressure. Like, we did die pretty quickly. This is an insane hand. This hand is totally cracked. My goodness. Okay, let's see what our opponent is likely on. Okay, they're a likely Stifle Knot gamer with actual factual Stifle. I am going to keep this. I'm just going to fetch an island proactively. I don't care about green here. I don't want to get wasted. I don't want to get stifled. They have 3 Stifles main deck. At least that's what they had a few days ago. I'm just going to respect it. What we'll do here is we'll just keep jamming show and tells until one of them gets through. And then once we have Omniscience, we'll stock up. They're going to be like, why did you just fetch that island? Oh, he must know I'm on Stifle Knot. We're in the 4th round, and my total recording time is like an hour, including the deck tech and everything. Like, this deck is fast. That is a sick-looking island. Jurassic Park. I'm not like a huge fan of any of the movies beyond the first one, but like I have to respect that. That was a really cool set piece, and like I watched one of the movies with my kids, one of the more contemporary ones. Okay, so if they have days, which they have 4 days in their deck. Wait a second. Surely they're not playing Stifle Knot without days. That would be insane. All right. Well, we got a nice card that we can pitch to force here. Let's go for it. When life gives you lemons, make some lemonade, right? That's what that means. That means like when you get like an insane lucky occurrence, make the most of it. I'm just joking. I know that's what you do with bad stuff. It's just an embarrassment of riches. This deck is crazy. The fact that it can play so many basics is such a refresher. Okay, there's the days. I am going to counter this. And we can try again next turn, but like I would like to win if I can. Okay, they're forcing. All right. So we'll try again next turn, assuming we don't get wasted into oblivion. But that is one reason to just not wait around, is because they could just waste this and suddenly we're like very far from casting anything meaningful. The card they pitched there was Tamiyo. They did have 2 Tamiyos in their list that they were playing. They were also playing Uro. Thoughtseize is a very good card against us. Were they playing Underground Sea? They were. They're on a really weird brew of Stifle Knot. I'm here for it. Okay, they've taken our show and tell. We still have a stock up that hopefully will resolve. All right. That's pretty good. I will just pitch this at this point to get this resolved because I've got nothing going on. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. So the One Ring, we could go One Ring land, and then we're not totally cooked if they have... Yeah, I think I'd take Island, One Ring. Then I get a land drop, and maybe that discourages them from coming after me. I think One Ring is a totally reasonable pivot, considering that they're not doing any damage to us. We are doing damage to ourselves. Now we have Days Protected Force if they do something crazy. But I'm hoping to just use this force to force through One Ring. Curie's fine if that's what they do. What else would they do here? 2 blue. Merc. Yeah, I think that's fine. They've got a pretty big Merc. All right, we're going to be taking a lot of damage. We don't have a lot of time. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. One Ring. All right, so we're going to force this through. Sorry, I'm like, my son's really upset right now because his Switch keeps malfunctioning. His Nintendo Switch. He makes Mario Maker levels. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and activate this, draw a card. Show and tell is great. Let's go ahead and hedge maze, and we're just trying to find something to show and... Oh, that is a nice sequence of draws. All right, so my opponent can't do anything here. We're going to take a damage. With my opponent's life total as it is, they will get killed with the first swing. I think it's fine. They could have Bowmasters. Could we lose to Bowmasters? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the show and tell on the stack. And then I can One Ring if I need to. Let's think about this. Yeah, I am a little bit worried that Bowmaster could do us in. So we would take 2 damage from the One Ring activation when they Bowmaster, and then we would take another 2 from the One Ring during our upkeep, and we take 2 from this. I think we're okay. I think we're okay to just do it like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the stack. We have the possibility of drawing a Veil here. So they're just dead if we just pass to our next turn. We don't even have to use the One Ring. I'm trying to think of a reason why we wouldn't. I'm just going to use it. And again, I'm new to the deck, so I'm like laboring over it. Our opponent's probably just like, yeah, they're tanking on the best possible. They have like literally the best possible thing you can have here, and they're tanking. You know, I can understand that being, oh wait, we don't get the turn. We don't get the turn. We could die. That was a punt. I thought, oh, we get the Emerald, but I forgot. Like, you only get it when you cast it. I'm just going to take this damage. I'm not going to tap my One Ring again. That's for sure. It was a mistake to tap it, for sure. Because they gained some life. They put themselves out of reach, but they're still going to get annihilated. If they Bowmaster me, they could kill me still, but I have an arrow. I'm going to go ahead and go in for a hug first. Annihilate the board. They could keep a permanent if they have exactly Bowmasters here. They stifle the Annihilator trigger. Okay. They're Hellbent. They have to block this. That puts a creature type in their graveyard. What is this? 4/5? Just going to gain some life here. Oh, we die to the One Ring. We have to find an answer to this. Let's think about this. What answers do we have to this in our deck? Because we take 4, then we take 2. Oh my goodness, I punted so hard. Just tapping that One Ring, that one turn, thinking that I had an extra turn. They have nothing in hand. What could we find? It has to happen before we tap this. I don't know that there's anything we can find. I'm going to fetch, and I'll see what I find. Like, what's in our deck. I may just have to concede. So, the only out that I can think of would be Show and Tell for Atraxa, but we actually... Oh, yeah, we could find a Show and Tell. We still have one Show and Tell, only one Show and Tell left in our deck. We could find a One Ring, but we won't have the mana to cast it. Yeah, I think it's Show and Tell or bust. Sinkins is super cost double blue. We won't be able to cast it. I will grab this Trop here. Then I will tap to draw cards, and then we're going to die. Oh, we still have a land drop. That doesn't change anything, sadly. We Cunning Wish. We don't have the mana. Because we're dying to our One Ring if we tap this. We don't have the mana to bring it back. We Cunning Wish. We can't get Eureka. Yeah, I think I totally punted here just tapping this. That was such a punt. My goodness, I feel so dumb. Okay, but like I'm going to be learning these lessons as we play, so please don't be too harsh on me. I am calling out that punt, so you don't have to brutalize me in the comments. Okay, so they are on a Days Wasteland deck. That comes in. They are playing blue-black, so Veil's coming in. Pretty much all of our matchups, like I can see why there are 3 main deck Veils here. They are a creature deck. I don't know that Spell Pierce is good. Maybe I'm making a mistake in subbing that out. I don't like Lotus Petal in Tempo decks. I think that's it. Yeah. We still haven't seen any reanimation type effects or anything, so I'm going to assume that they don't have them. Yeah, they seem to be on just like another Grixis control for like the 3rd game in a row. Maybe not the 3rd game in a row, but I think we've played against Grixis control like 3 times. And it may be because this deck is so powerful that people are like, I better start playing Pyroblast. One thing I'll say while we're waiting for our opponent to board, this deck matchup, like I can imagine just pure blue-black tempo just shredding this deck, and I can imagine Bug Beans like losing to this deck a lot because just Nethergoyf is such a freaking house. If you get him early, like hitting for 4 each turn off of a 1 black mana investment is really strong. And also the fact that they have like 3, maybe 4 main deck Thoughtseize. I've gone as high as 4. I think I say this in every video, but I think blue-black tempo's star is rising. And I think Delver, even with the Corey Steel Cutter, I still think blue-black tempo is probably the top deck right now. And I think it is perhaps the most represented deck right now too. This is a nutty hand. We just open Carpet. They force it. We're stuck with the freaking duel that can get wasted though. We force back if they force. Yeah, I want it. No, I'm gonna island. Oh, I want to island so bad because I want to show and tell, but I do think like carpet and just taking a little bit more deliberate tempo is fine here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. If they Thoughtseize me, I think my hand is gonna be resilient enough. Show and tell into Atraxa is not necessarily GG the way show and tell into Omniscience with other stuff to do is. Show and tell Atraxa is merely very good. It's not necessarily GG. I've fought through it a lot of times, not usually with non-white decks. It can be fought through with non-white decks. I am going to be brave and fetch the trop here. And I always like to just play it out where they can't daze it. They have to force it now. It's a premium card. I will force pitch Cunning Wish if they try to stop it. Because I'm just dead if they are able to waste me here. I'm not necessarily just dead, but it's a lot harder to come by. The fact that they prized that highly enough to, that tells me that they were hoping to play a tempo game and they can waste me and that'll take a turn. But eventually I'm going to get mana and they won't be able to win without eventually playing blue cards. I mean, they pitched a Merc, right? Merc is one of their win cons. So they are definitely going to be playing at least one island here. There we go. Tommy's fine. All right. And now we have Days Protected. Show and Tell here. Brainstorm is cool. I would like to add a blue. I'm going to go ahead and do this and make them think I have Veil too. They did have the counter magic. All right. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm and just see if I can get lucky here. It's a kind of a desperate play, but like we already have the win on the stack if we find a force. We don't, but we find another show and tell, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the show and tell. I don't really need this land. They're probably going to play out another land. I don't know. I can put the Brainstorm lower and draw that. Oh wait. Yeah, I'll just I'll redraw. Yeah, I'll do it like this. And if they Thoughtseize me, they can only take my Atraxa, which is not that big of a deal. I can find other win cons. Okay, they stopped it. They are down to one card. They pitched Kaito. They've got Tommy. We'll see whether they have another land. Every land they play is helping me. They now have 2 lands. They could Brainstorm, flip her, and start to regrow a force. Right. They could have Pyroblast. I'm going to add double blue. I have nothing else to do this turn. If this fails, I'm going to go ahead and just pay for it like this. So I don't have to take damage off Tomb. Atraxa comes in. I don't know that they have a good way to beat Atraxa. She's not Hydroblastable. She is Pyroblastable, of course. They put a fetch in. All right, I've never resolved an Atraxa before on MTGO either. They're drawing their clue. Do they draw a Stifle? Stifle would be pretty powerful here. All right. All right. So I think we take stock up here for sure. Or we could take Show and Tell and Emrakul. I definitely am thinking we take Veil just because that disrupts Force, which they may try to regrow here. Mistrise Village for land is pretty damn good. I think we definitely take that. Okay, so that's our land. Now we get a sorcery and an instant and a creature. The creature is easy. We'll take the Emrakul. The instant will be Force. No, it'll be Veil. I think it's just better overall. And then we will... oh, wait. Do we not get a sorcery? Yeah, we get a sorcery too. I'm going to take the Show and Tell. So now we have Protected. Yeah, and that's it. We're going to do that. That's how you resolve... Okay, so that took a while to resolve everything, but like I feel very confident that we've chosen well here. If you want to critique my first ever Atraxa resolution, let me know. I'm certainly open. Okay, so we don't have to worry about Thoughtseize. We don't have to worry about Days. They can't attack. Yeah, that's game. Okay, that went really well. Carpet's a hell of a card. I'm just going to run it back. And Carpet was very powerful there because it got a force out of their hand and then it gives lots of mana to play around permission. Had they had double force for our Show and Tell, we probably never would have gotten anything through, but the Carpet was like a 1 green mana him to Torok. All right, let's see if we can get a 4-1 here. This is the game. First ever outing with this deck. Probably not the last. given the power level, it does feel disgusting. Like the One Ring especially feels disgusting. Going to tighten up. I'm going to learn these play patterns. And then once I know how to play this deck well, I'm hopefully going to just destroy people that are playing it against me when I'm playing my tempo decks. I'm just putting the One Ring on my finger one time to see what happens. Then I'll take it off and I won't put it on anymore. Okay, this hand has basics. It has a basic and lots of cantrips. It doesn't have a win. Cunning Wish is pretty terrible if you don't have Omniscience. We do have a Brainstorm to fix our hand. I think what I do is I island ponder, and then next turn, hopefully I have another island. I don't like these double Ancient Tombs versus the tempo deck. I think I want to mulligan this. This is a very similar hand, except it does have, Omniscience. So I think this is a snap keep. We need to figure out our land situation, but we can just play on basics. So the card that's going back, probably stock up because it's not a win con. Yeah, and if they Thoughtseize us and take our show and tell, it's not the end of the world. We still have plenty of stuff going on. Stock up is definitely a mid-game card. Okay, I'm just going to go get the island. I'm going to go ahead and ponder. I'm not going to wait around because every turn we wait, it just gets worse for us. Don't stifle me. Okay. Just want to line up some lands. That's all I want to do. They're going to pyro this. That is fine. I'm not going to fight over that. I don't even think I'd fight over the Brainstorm. Like, now that we'd have nothing else going on in our hand. I will fight over Bowmasters. We could be in a very precarious situation if we don't draw land here. Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'll fight over Bowmasters. It's very important that we resolve this. Now we have a second card that we can put in off Omniscience. They pyro this. I think I do have to force, and then they probably daze, and then we probably lose. But I think that that's how you play this game. Like, them having a double Pyroblast hand is pretty powerful. So we pitched the Omniscience. I don't want to pitch Atraxa just because, she does basically win the game off show and tell, and we don't have another Atraxa to get. We have 3 other Omnisciences. Yeah, I don't want to just sit still for like 3 turns. It sucks, but we could just get blown out here by days. I'm fully aware. A force would also do it. They have the days. Okay. We are pretty dead, but we're going to wait and see what happens here. But that was definitely brutal. Our hand still rocks if we find land. And we can just play very slow and deliberately and be days wasteland proof. You could argue that we should have just played more slowly and accepted, but yeah, maybe I should have just accepted the Pyroblast. I'm certainly willing to, like, the benefit of the hindsight, obviously. But at the time, being able to shuffle, like finding a fetch and shuffling would have been insane. Okay, let's try this. Do you have a Bowmaster now? You do. Okay, so you had the God hand against me. I don't know that I can do anything about that. Let's see if I find a land. This has to be shuffled. And I feel extremely dead. Another One Ring. Yeah. Like, I don't think we can dig out of this in time. They've still got gas in their tank. We've got nothing but, like, uncastable cards. I'm glad we're getting this part of the video because I'm sure this happens all the time to players, and you don't necessarily, like, remember these kinds of situations from the other side of the table. You're like, yeah, I just beat them, and, like, they didn't have anything going on. Like, and I don't want to romanticize, like, this lifestyle. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Of basically, we're playing 20 lands or 19. Yeah, 20 lands if you include the thing. So those kinds of hands, that was already a mulligan. We'd already mulliganed a hand that, if I recall, was like pretty light on mana. Yeah. So let's take a look at the list one more time. Mistrise Village never came up. It seems like it'd be good. I did see a recent list that just wasn't even playing it, even though objectively, like not objectively, but like in your mind's eye, you're like, oh, you think about all the situations where just the uncounterability comes up. However, if you're already playing Veil and stuff, you basically already have uncounterable on your spells. So this might just be like a jank land. What I would probably do if I were to like it never came up, but my thinking is the only decks we lost to were tempo decks, right? Like we lost to, I think we just lost to 2 tempo decks. So like if you're losing the tempo decks, why would you play this? Why not just play an additional fetch? And the ability to get like one of 5 different basics, especially, like the Surveil, the Duel, I think we could probably go up to 3 of these. And then The only other feedback I have, like I didn't see too many people playing 2 One Rings, but it is nice to have a second One Ring that you can dig to if you're about to die to one of your One Rings. Earl felt incredible the entire league. Like just having this as an option is really strong against blue-black. It's unexpected too, and people don't know what to make of it when it comes down. Yeah, like I don't really have any other, like, I mean, Carpet could be a 3 of. It seems like it'd be ridiculously good. Like you have basic green to go get it. So I think those my main takeaway is we're a combo deck. Maybe we don't need the second force negation. Maybe we just go over the top of other decks. We didn't face Oops All Spells, and Oops All Spells feels like it'd be a pretty bad matchup. I don't know that Hydroblast belongs to the sideboard if our plan is to not interact really and just to win. So I'll show you what the version that I'm planning to play in my next league is. And I know this is not like what everybody else is playing. I totally understand that. And but I feel like the One Ring is so powerful that you should be playing it. And I also feel like these petals, they just feel glass cannonaded to me. Like I'm going to take them out. I don't get it. I think Bryant Cook, the Epic Storm, was saying he doesn't think that they belong in the deck anymore either. You've already got Ancient Tomb, which is a really good mana source. And then you could just go up to 20 lands. So we got a Carpet in the sideboard. We take out the Hydroblast. I think is the most situational. Consign's pretty mediocre. It can stop a trigger, and it only costs 1 mana. Hydroblast, I don't know what it really does other than counter Pyroblast. I'm not going to board it in against like Delver or anything. So I'd probably take that out. Wilt, I can understand it being good. Like just bouncing a permanent seems just as good. I can't imagine a situation where you've got Omniscience out. Like what are you looking for? I guess this kills what's it called? We could have dug to this and had this as an answer to Ensnaring Bridge, because during the Karnforge match we did put an Ensnaring Bridge in. Our opponent did. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the deck. It feels very powerful, and I feel like with some practice I might be able to routinely trophy with it, or there's no such thing as routinely trophying. I think it's just you can be extremely good and still not routinely trophy, and I don't trophy very often, so I'm not that confident that I could routinely trophy with it, but I think I could get to where I'm like routinely 4-1ing with it. I don't really have any other ideas for how to improve the deck. Going up to 20 land, maybe adding in a second Sink into Stupor. This seems like a really good card for when you get Omniscience out. And it is a mana source. I think it fits thematically with the deck very well. It pitches to Force. It comes in as a land. The other thing is you could play another Lorien Revealed, as maybe a second Lorien Revealed would be good. Because sometimes, now that we have this rock solid mana base that is not relying on petals and stuff, like there could be situations where having a second Lorien is really good. In theory, you should be able to churn through your deck and find your one of Sink in Stupor, and that's just one of many bounce spells. Like every single Cunning Wish represents like a Sublime Epiphany, which is just a completely cracked card that costs 6 mana, so you'd never see it in Legacy, but you can see it when you have an Omniscience out, and mana cost is no longer, so I'm going to do those changes. I mean, I don't know. I'm so conservative with my mana. Like, I just don't like losing and playing non-games like that last one there, that I would probably, I'll figure it out after I sign off for the video. Let me just do my typical sign off. If you're new to the channel, by the way, and you're just interested in Omnitel, this is one of my first combo leagues in a long time. I only do blue base combo. Now technically I can do whatever I want because I have access to all the cards thanks to my chill human beings, my excellent friends who have subscribed to the channel. That was enough for me to be able to get into the creator program, so I can experiment with I was thinking about maybe doing like a Spiral Tide type decks, or I just like blue. I like Force. I like being able to answer, turn 0 nonsense too much for me to play like Death and Taxes and stuff like that again. I used to play that a long time ago, but I just got burned out. So yeah, until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.